What happens when the player that jealous WNBA veterans tried to destroy becomes bigger than their entire league? Caitlin Clark just landed the most prestigious broadcasting deal in women's basketball history, joining the NBA on NBC coverage with basketball royalty like Carmelo Anthony and Tracy McGrady. This incredible achievement proves Clark's impact extends far beyond the WNBA's petty politics. Meanwhile, the same veterans who criticized new fans and minimized Clark's influence are begging the WNBA owners and making delusional salary demands that could destroy the league's momentum. Are you excited for Caitlin's NBC debut? Let me know down in the comments below.
We're going to talk about Caitlin Clark because she's got a new job. Caitlin Clark has landed herself a new, very high-profile position. Caitlin Clark lands new role in basketball during Indiana Fever off-season.
NBC Sports made history by bringing Caitlin Clark into their Basketball Night in America pregame show. She becomes the first active WNBA player to join this prestigious broadcast booth. The network pairs her with basketball legends Carmelo Anthony, Tracy McGrady, and Vince Carter. Maria Taylor hosts the show that reaches millions of NBA fans every week. Clark's debut happens February 1st before the Lakers face the Knicks at Madison Square Garden.
It was announced on Tuesday that Caitlin Clark will join NBC Sports to serve as a special contributor for its new Basketball Night in America program. Caitlin Clark will make her debut as a TV analyst on February 1st, preceding the Lakers versus Knicks game at Madison Square Garden, per a release from NBC.
The timing speaks volumes about Clark's rising influence. While veteran WNBA players struggle through messy CBA negotiations, she lands the most coveted broadcasting role in basketball. NBC executives specifically chose Clark because she brings massive audiences wherever she goes. These are the exact same new fans that veteran players have been criticizing all season long. The network understands Clark's drawing power extends far beyond traditional basketball demographics. Clark's role includes 2 high-profile Sunday night basketball appearances. After her February debut, she returns March 29th for the Knicks vs. Thunder matchup. Both games air during primetime slots that attract significantly more viewers than typical WNBA broadcasts. NBC recognizes her ability to connect with audiences that other analysts simply cannot reach. The network previously took bold risks by including personalities like Snoop Dogg in their NBA coverage.
Wow. So this would be akin to, they have Sunday Night Football, and it starts with a pregame show called Football Night in America. I didn't know they were creating Basketball Night in America, but here we are. It will be Caitlin Clark's first time in an analyst-type role on TV.
Her broadcasting compensation likely exceeds most entire WNBA salaries. The financial success proves Clark's market value stretches far beyond what the old guard wants to acknowledge. While veteran players demand unrealistic salary increases through their union negotiations, Clark secures lucrative opportunities through pure talent and professionalism. She builds her brand alongside basketball royalty rather than fighting against league growth. NBC's decision directly challenges the narrative that veteran players have pushed for 2 seasons. These same players spent countless hours trying to minimize Clark's impact on women's basketball. They fouled her excessively during games and complained about the attention she brought to their league. Now she sits alongside Hall of Famers, while they wave inflatable rats outside league offices during protests.
Caitlin Clark joins Michael Jordan as a splashy acquisition for NBC and NBA coverage. Despite his limited role, simply having Jordan as part of the coverage created buzz. NBC is surely hoping Caitlin Clark's involvement will do the same. Of course, Caitlin Clark is expected to offer unique insights in assuming the analyst role for the first time, and her basketball IQ cannot be questioned. So the transition will be a seamless one for the Indiana Fever's star point guard.
Clark's new platform reaches audiences that dwarf WNBA viewership numbers. Sunday Night Basketball consistently delivers millions of viewers compared to WNBA games that struggle to crack six figures. She gains access to mainstream sports fans who rarely watch women's basketball. The veteran players who criticize these potential new fans now watch Clark directly engage with them on national television. The contrast between Clark's professional approach and the union's tactics could not be starker. She conducts herself with dignity while building relationships with media executives and basketball legends. Meanwhile, veteran players resort to public stunts and inflammatory rhetoric that makes them look unprofessional. Clark elevates women's basketball through excellence while others drag it down through petty politics. Her broadcasting role represents everything the gatekeepers fear most. Clark's influence grows beyond their ability to control or diminish it. She no longer needs their approval to succeed in basketball. The veteran players who spent 2 years trying to erase her from WNBA conversations now watch her join conversations about NBA games. Their attempts at minimizing her impact backfired spectacularly.
But you see, this is going to be the flagship NBC basketball show. Just like Sunday Night Football, you've got, Sunday Night Basketball. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Needle mover. There you go. Let the haters hate, I guess.
NBC's partnership with Clark sets a new standard for player opportunities in women's basketball. She demonstrates that talent combined with professionalism opens doors that politics cannot close. While veteran players engage in labor disputes that threaten the 2026 season, Clark secures deals that enhance her profile regardless of WNBA drama. She transcends the league's internal conflicts through pure basketball excellence. The basketball world sees Clark building her empire alongside established legends, rather than fighting against league interests. She complements NBA coverage while veteran players compete against their own league through rival business ventures. Her approach shows what real leadership looks like in women's basketball. Clark focuses on opportunities that elevate the entire sport, rather than dividing it through selfish negotiations and unprofessional behavior that embarrasses everyone involved.
Quote, "I'm really excited to be part of Basketball Night in America crew this season," said Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is one of the most captivating players and dynamic scorers in basketball, said Sam Flood, executive producer of NBC Sports. We're excited to have Caitlin join Hall of Famers Melo, Vince, Tracy, and Reggie in New York for the launch of Sunday Night Basketball.
The WNBA Players Association just delivered the most embarrassing negotiation performance in professional sports history. These veteran players who spent 2 years claiming Caitlin Clark had nothing to do with increased league revenue now demand massive salary increases based on that exact same revenue growth. The union wants a $10.5 million salary cap for each team. They also demand $2.5 million maximum salaries for individual players. These numbers exist in Fantasyland compared to the league's actual financial situation. The WNBA ownership group offered reasonable terms that would benefit every player in the league. They proposed giving players 70% of net revenue with significant salary increases across all experience levels. The current average salary sits around $120,000, but the league offered substantial bumps that would help veterans and rookies alike, with maximum salaries reportedly reaching more than $1 million, more than 4 times the current maximum. Instead of accepting these generous terms, the Players Association rejected everything and demanded 30% of gross revenue instead. They want their slice calculated before the league pays for arenas, travel, marketing, and basic operational costs.
Our CBA is so dumb right now that it's heading towards the lockout. So
no progress.
No.
Just nothing.
Honestly, nothing. We get weekly emails from the PA side of things, and it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Here's where the situation gets absolutely ridiculous. The same players who criticized new fans for 2 straight seasons now base their salary demands on revenue those fans generated. They spent countless interviews complaining about bandwagon supporters who only came to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. These veterans acted like seasoned gatekeepers protecting their sport from casual observers. Now they want to cash massive paychecks funded by the exact same people they spent years insulting and dismissing. The union brought literal inflatable rats to protest outside WNBA headquarters in New York City. Professional athletes earning six-figure salaries stood on sidewalks with giant inflatable rodents demanding more money. They held signs and chanted slogans like they were fighting for basic worker rights instead of negotiating luxury salary increases. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark signed prestigious broadcasting deals and conducted professional interviews with mainstream media outlets. The contrast between her dignified approach and their childish antics could not be more obvious.
Some of the rhetoric I've heard from their side has been a little bit troublesome. You know, like when a deal is presented that's over $1 million max salary and revenue share, it's called a slap in the face. Like, use different words, and I'm worried that the players might be getting to a point where they might be losing some of the support from the public. The players just need to be a little bit more careful with how they're articulating things, because if you're working whatever job, a max salary of 1.2 million, average salary of 500,000. If you don't think it's fair, that's fine, but don't call it a slap in the face.
Veteran players are deliberately running out the clock on these negotiations. They know fans desperately want to see the 2026 season happen. Clark enters her second year ready to dominate after a record-breaking rookie campaign. Fans bought season tickets expecting to watch her continue making history. Instead, these selfish veterans threaten to cancel the entire season unless they receive unrealistic compensation packages that would bankrupt several franchises. The negotiation tactics expose how out of touch these players have become. They organize publicity stunts and inflammatory press conferences instead of working toward realistic agreements. Social media shows them posing with protest signs and making demands that ignore basic business economics. They act like the WNBA prints money instead of operating as a business that needs to balance revenue with expenses. Their behavior embarrasses the entire league and makes women's basketball look unprofessional.
God gave you a person, and now you're rejecting it. Y'all should be like Caesar. I appreciate you, Caitlin. Thank you. I can eat a little bit better. She got paid this. She get a signature shoe. Hey, I'm a two-time MVP. I'm a champion. The fact that there's this much animosity about the person that's feeding you, and I'm gonna say it just like she's feeding y'all.
Yes.
Doors that y'all didn't do. So to be honest, shut up. Because y'all couldn't do it. Just accept it and benefit. Be happy.
These are the exact same players who fouled Clark excessively during games and complained constantly about media attention. They whined about referees protecting rookie players and accused officials of favoritism. They spent 2 seasons trying to physically intimidate Clark and minimize her impact on league popularity. Now, they demand salary increases based on the revenue growth Clark generated through her exceptional play and massive fan following. Fans across social media are calling out the hypocrisy in real time. Comment sections explode with supporters who remember how veteran players treated new audiences. They point out the obvious contradiction between criticizing casual fans and then demanding money those fans brought to the league. The backlash grows stronger every day as negotiations drag on without progress. The WNBPA's unrealistic demands reveal their complete disconnect from financial reality. They want NBA-level salaries while playing in arenas that seat fewer than 10,000 people. They demand maximum contracts that exceed what most franchises generate in total revenue. Their inflated sense of self-worth blinds them to the basic economics of professional sports. The veteran players who claimed they built the league's foundation now threaten to destroy it through greedy negotiations that could force multiple teams into bankruptcy, while Clark continues building her empire through talent and professionalism.
When she announced she was going pro, I immediately ran over to Lynn Dunn and said, "We have Elvis." She's like, "What?" I said, "There's been a lot of singers in music. There's only one Elvis. This is Elvis." And I knew, I've been in sports for 40 years. I knew this was something special. There's moving the needle, she's the needle. And I say it, there's been no one like her in all of team sports.
The real scandal behind these failed CBA negotiations runs much deeper than unrealistic salary demands. Breanna Stewart serves as a vice president of the WNBA while simultaneously co-founding and owning Unrivaled, a competing professional basketball league. She literally profits from a rival organization that competes directly against the WNBA for talent, sponsors, and fan attention. Nafisa Collier holds the exact same conflicted position as both a WNBPAA vice president and Unrivaled co-owner. These women negotiate against WNBA interests while building businesses designed to steal revenue from the league they represent. Stewart openly admitted her brain hurts from juggling these competing responsibilities. She struggles to balance her duties as a union leader, fighting for WNBA players, with her role as a business owner who benefits when the WNBA struggles. Collier faces identical pressures as she sits across from league executives demanding higher salaries, while secretly hoping those same executives fail so her competing league succeeds. Both women hold positions that create obvious conflicts of interest that would be illegal in most professional industries.
Sophie Cunningham said in a podcast previously, she sees the conflict of interest between Nafisa Collier, Breanna Stewart, and the WNBA. She sees the conflict of interest. So what are you doing to circumvent that conflict and actually get some of the real facts, some of the real truths that could be taking place?
Unrivaled directly competes with the WNBA for everything that matters in professional sports. The league targets WNBA players during their offseason with competing contracts and opportunities. They pursue the same corporate sponsors who fund WNBA teams and marketing campaigns. They compete for media coverage and fan attention during months when women's basketball traditionally focuses on overseas leagues. Stewart and Collier built this competing enterprise while serving as elected representatives of WNBA players who depend on league success for their livelihoods. The conflict explains why these negotiations seem designed to fail rather than succeed. Stewart and Collier benefit more from WNBA chaos than from stable growth that helps all players. A successful CBA that raises salaries and improves working conditions makes Unrivaled less attractive to potential recruits. A failed negotiation that threatens the 2026 season creates openings for their competing league to poach disgruntled talent. They literally profit from the dysfunction they create through their unreasonable demands and unprofessional protest tactics.
So Nafisa Collier, during the Owls game, I believe she's still on the Lunar Owls, she talked to the broadcast about Unrivaled and gloated about what we're doing over here at Unrivaled. Oh yeah, sustainability. Oh really now? Okay. We have a roasting session on our hands, folks, and I didn't do the roasting, but Nafisa Collier, she's getting dragged through the mud with what she said yesterday. She's getting crushed on live.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark builds her brand through opportunities that complement women's basketball growth. Her NBC deal elevates the entire sport by bringing new audiences to basketball coverage. She partners with established media companies rather than competing against league interests. Clark demonstrates how talented players can expand their influence without undermining the foundation that supports other athletes. Her approach shows genuine leadership compared to the self-serving tactics employed by veteran union leaders. Fans recognized this hypocrisy immediately and flooded social media with criticism. They pointed out how Stewart and Collier spent 2 years attacking new supporters who came to watch Clark play basketball. These same veteran players complained constantly about casual fans and bandwagon supporters who threatened their gatekeeping control. Now, those exact fans call out the obvious conflicts of interest that explain why CBA negotiations continue failing despite reasonable offers from league ownership.
I was like, dude, nobody in here even cares. Nobody even in here cares. And I wouldn't be surprised if those people that came in just got handed free tickets. Wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. We got to make this look good. Is if you walk through the door, here's your free ticket. Here's your free.
The backlash grows stronger every day as more supporters understand the true motivations behind these stalled talks. Comment sections explode with angry fans who realize veteran players prioritize personal business ventures over collective bargaining success. They see through the inflatable rat protests and inflammatory rhetoric to the underlying financial incentives that drive union leadership decisions. The veteran players who criticized Clark's supporters now face criticism from those same fans who refuse to accept obvious conflicts of interest. This scandal reveals why progress remains impossible despite generous league offers. Stewart and Collier cannot negotiate in good faith when their personal businesses benefit from WNBA failure. They represent players whose interests directly conflict with their own financial success through competing leagues. The situation creates impossible dynamics where union leaders secretly hope their own negotiations fail, so their rival businesses can capitalize on the resulting chaos. Clark's professional approach contrasts sharply with these conflicted veterans who put personal profits ahead of player welfare. She builds partnerships that strengthen women's basketball, while union leaders build competitors that weaken it. Her success demonstrates what happens when talented athletes focus on elevating their sport rather than exploiting internal divisions for personal gain through questionable business relationships.
Let's be for real here, right? Unrivaled is so sustainable that they can't even attract the best players, but they couldn't even retain the other players. They couldn't attract Asia, they couldn't attract Caitlyn, season 1, and they can't retain Angel, and they can't retain Sabrina, season 2, but it's sustainable. We're losing stars, but it's just, oh no. Sustainable. They play all their games out of the same location. They train in the same location. Overhead is clearly much smaller. Is she being serious?
Caitlyn Clark's NBC deal proves that excellence beats jealousy every time. While veteran players wave inflatable rats and make unrealistic demands, she joins basketball royalty on national television. Her professionalism opened doors that politics could never close. The Fever 5 represents everything fans love about women's basketball. Clark brings record-breaking talent. Lexi Hull delivers clutch performances. Aaliyah Boston dominates inside. Kelsey Mitchell provides veteran leadership. Sophie Cunningham plays with heart. These players focus on basketball instead of creating drama through failed negotiations. Fans already count down the days until the 2026 season starts, when real basketball returns instead of CBA protests. Are you excited for Caitlyn's NBC debut? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.